What's going on, guys? SSK here with another video again, and this time I'm going to be giving a review of the closed beta that happened for Marvel Tokon. We had a lot of time to play it over the weekend, and a lot of people seemed to really enjoy it and had their own thoughts and everything too. So I'm going to be doing this video. It's going to be a little unscripted this time around to kind of give you guys my unfiltered, honest opinion on the game, what I think about it, and what are my pros and what are my cons. So let me just go ahead and get straight to what I liked and some other things that I noticed about it that I think will be very useful over time for players to know in the future. First of all, the visuals for this game are fantastic and amazing. Honestly, feels like Arc System Works has just been improving their visuals a lot over time with each game that they make, and it's really insane to think about. I mean, like, I remember when Guilty Gear Xrd came out, and I thought that was like the peak of how like a potential anime fighting game could look, and then like Strive came out and just blew everybody out of the water, and then Dragon Ball Fighters came out, DNF, and you know, all of those things just kind of came out. And now that we're seeing Marvel Tokon and how beautiful this game looks, it honestly makes me question just how much Arc System Works can push the visuals of these games further in future games, and I'm so interested in seeing how this all plays out. I also really like the presentation of the game in terms of the lobbies, the intros, the outros, the music. I just really like what all of this is about. It really feels like a Marvel game with how all of these characters interact with each other throughout the outros and intros, and even like the lobbies, you can see like character avatars just walking around, waving. I'm a guy that's really big on like presentation, especially in fighting games. Of course, considering that this is a Marvel fighting game, you want to see your favorite Marvel characters interact with each other. Well, Marvel Tokon does that just for you, and it does it very well. Also do see the player lobbies that you can check to see who is in the lobby itself, and that you can go ahead and find people to play with. However, I do wish that you could instantly teleport to somebody in the player lobby so that you don't have to find that person who you want to play against, because you can see who is waiting for games, but you cannot instantly just go to them. You have to find them in this big lobby, so that's something that hopefully the developers take into consideration later on. Other than that, this game does have Wi-Fi indicators, so you can see if somebody is either on Wi-Fi or using Ethernet, and I think that's really great. The netcode though overall is very good. Obviously, for people who don't know, this game uses rollback netcode, and it's also crossplay amongst different platforms, so you will be able to play with PC players and PlayStation players when the game releases. This was a PlayStation beta, to clarify, so we were only able to play against PlayStation players, but the netcode was very good. Even when I was playing against Wi-Fi players, if the connection Wi-Fi was green, it was actually not that bad as well. So the way how this game handles Wi-Fi is pretty strong as well. But to summarize all of that stuff, I think the visuals are great, I think the presentation is amazing, and I think the netcode is awesome. So I'm going to go ahead and talk a little bit about the things that I noticed that I caught on that I think might be useful for people who want to get into the game, and also clarify some things that I mentioned in my previous videos that are new in this beta. So first of all, when we're talking about the way how offense works in Marvel Tokon, I said in my previous video that you can do an auto combo into calling an assist to go ahead and extend your pressure to dash in and do a strike or throw mix up. But the thing about this game is that you have to be careful calling an assist on the opponent's block after you do your heavy attack, because your heavy attack recovers so slow and you won't have enough time to dash in for a mix up, because the opponent will recover faster than you and go ahead and hit you out of your dash. When it comes to offensive Tokon, it's much better to go ahead and call your assist after you do your light or medium attack, because you will recover a bit more faster when you dash in for the mix-up. I started to notice this as I kept playing, because I kept trying to go ahead and do the strike throw mix-up, but I noticed that after doing my heavy attack, I kept getting hit by the opponent. So I said, oh, okay, this is probably a little bit disadvantageous. Let me go ahead and use earlier attacks to go ahead and call the assist in and be able to start that offense. Also, something else that I noticed is that you can block 2 H's in this game. This is something that was surprising to me, but at the same time, I thought, okay, you're gonna have to be moving around a bit more, you're gonna have to be air throwing a lot more, and even with 2 H's, you can still at least cancel into other things, so it's not really a horrible thing. But I do think that this game will reward people trying to go for more air throws or even air to airs to go ahead and achieve the pressure or the damage they want when it comes to jumping opponents. But speaking of other games, I do appreciate the control scheme that this game has. It's very customizable, and you can have any kind of control scheme you kind of want depending on what kind of player you are, and it feels really great because this game uses easy input inputs and motion inputs all together at the same time like Grand Blue does, and I just love that it allows for that freedom for players to play the way how they want to play. Other fighting games definitely need to be adopting this style in the future. I do think that the most important thing in a fighting game is being able to express yourself in multiple kinds of ways, and I think control schemes and easy inputs and motion inputs and all that stuff is a part of that conversation. So thanks for Tokon for going ahead and borrowing from Grand Blue and using this kind of control scheme. The movement in this game is very good. Obviously, you have your back dashes, your dashes, your jumps, super jumps, and all that kind of stuff. Air dashes too. Some characters even have their own special movements that they can do to move around the screen, like Miss Marvel. It all just works very well. You can move around in this game very quickly, and I think that is their goal. They want this game to be very mobile heavy. They want people to kind of move around and not be too stationary, because when you're moving around, your opponent can miss their attacks, all kinds of stuff. So if you're somebody who's probably played stuff like Melty, or honestly even stuff like Marvel vs. Capcom, you might enjoy the movement in this game, to be honest. So be sure to watch some footages, even the ones I have on my channel, to see how the game feels for you in terms of visually. Also, something else that I noticed is that chip damage does not kill in Marvel Tokon. This is something that's a personal gripe for me. I personally like chip kills in fighting games, especially in stuff like tag games, because I just like being able to lock people down and give people a checkmate situation in case they have that pixel of health left. But it's not the worst thing if your opponent is having a pixel of health left and you have a lot of life yourself. You can at least just control the life lead and kind of make your opponent approach you and stuff like that. But I like me some chips, so hopefully the developers can implement this in the future and give us some chip kill that I want, for me personally. Also, wall slumps in this game actually grant hard knockdowns. For those who don't know, knockdown situations in this game are either soft or hard. Soft knockdowns in this game allow you to roll forwards or backwards, and hard knockdowns won't allow you to roll. If you are put in a wall slump situation where you are at the end of the wall in Tokon, you will be in a hard knockdown situation, so you will not be able to actually roll out. This is going to grant a lot of people situations where they can do safe jumps or where they can do like little setups or stuff like that, so that they can feel comfortable with not having you get out of the corner. Honestly, I think this is pretty neat. It's a pretty good balance, and I think it rewards people who are trying to control the corner. So that's a 10 out of 10 for me for Tokon. I really do appreciate that. Overall, I am very much a huge fan of Tokon. I think that this game is already looking pretty bright for me. I love the visuals, I love the presentation, and honestly, the mechanics are very cool for me. Chip kill might not be in the game, but it's not really a big deal like I said. I think you will very much enjoy this game if you are a fan of Marvel vs. Capcom and Arc System Works games. This game feels like the culmination of all of those years of Arc System Works and the culmination of Marvel vs. Capcom, in my opinion. And just looking at all of that stuff and the developers being like, okay, how do we make this game appealing to a wide mass of people? And in turn, they made a game that is very easy to get into, but very hard to master. So overall, I'm honestly giving this beta a whopping 10 out of 10. Let me know what you guys think about the game in the comments. Did you play the beta over the weekend? Did you not? Did you at least watch footage, or did you play it yourself? What did you overall think about it? Any pros or cons of the game currently? Whatever you all may think, let's have a discussion in the comment section. Thank you all for watching, and make sure you have yourself a blessed day.